This is Mr. Karate Jesus here, back with another top 10 video, and this is all about the Sega Dreamcast launch day. Some say that the Sega Dreamcast had the greatest launch day ever. Turns out I kinda agree. With Sega mascot Sonic in 3D, a few great fighting games, and an overall diverse assortment of titles, no other launch day has ever matched it before since. That's right, not the PS4, the Xbox One, PS3, 360, Nintendo, whatever. None of them has matched this. And it didn't stop there, as a whole slew of great games came out later for the console, leading some to even call it the greatest system of all time. Unfortunately, though, the Dreamcast was Sega's last hurrah in the console wars, and they are now stuck to being a third-party company. But that still doesn't damp their excellent on launch day of 9/9/99. Dreamcast, we love you and we will always love you. Rest in peace. And here's my top 10 games that was my favorite during launch day. So I hope you enjoy the list and keep it gaming. Alright, number 10 on the list for the best launch games for the Dreamcast has to go to Tokyo Extreme Racer. Released in 1999 by publisher Crave Entertainment. Tokyo Extreme Racer was actually one of the few racing launch titles for the Dreamcast. It was a mission-based racing game, which was new at the time. And it made me feel like Fast and the Furious Tokyo Drift, like a whole 7 years before the actual movie came out. This was only for the Dreamcast and no other. Alright, number 9 on the list has to go to Mortal Kombat Gold, released in 1999 and published by Midway. Mortal Kombat Gold featured new characters not featured in arcade versions, with Baraka, Cyrax, and Kung Lao entering the fight, just to name a few. And it contained all the other elements that made Mortal Kombat 4 moderate a hit in the day. It may not be the best launch game to look at now, but in its time it was a rare kind. Trust me, as fighting game nuts, having this and Power Stone and Soulcalibur on the day one launch was like a dream come true. Don't forget, you know you love Mortal Kombat Gold back in 1999. You know you do. Don't lie. You did. You love those fatalities and you love ripping people into shreds. Number 8 on this goes to Hydro Thunder, published by Midway Games. The Hydro Thunder game was greatly missed in the arcade cabinet that it came with, as you couldn't sit in a giant rumbling boat at home. But with the water physics were still great, and it made for an excellent home conversion. I played the shit out of this game when it came out at launch. And man, it's fun. Even the reboot or remastered version that came out on the 360 was fun. And it just still has that arcade feel to it. And it's very missed in some games today. Alright, number 7 on this has to go to House of the Dead 2, published by Sega. House of the Dead 2 was and will always be one of the most ridiculous titles you ever played. Between the outrageous dialogue and the consistent jump scares, it has the privilege of being the basis for one of the most ludicrous titles and fun games you ever played that was on the Dreamcast. It was so fun how you play this game. The Dreamcast launched with a Mad Catz light gun. You can use this just like the arcades to get the same thrill factor that you do at the local arcade, but in the comforts on your own home. Please remind me again why Sega failed so horribly, why we do not have them in the console wars now. I mean, why? Where did Sega go wrong? Alright, number 6 on the list has to go to a game called TrickStyle, made by Acclaim. It was probably one of the games that would probably look down upon a lot of other people, probably didn't really care for it, being an underdog that it was. The problem with decent launch titles release among other stellar launch titles is a lot of people won't even bother playing the underdog games. Well, unfortunately for me, I got to play TrickStyle, which was a hoverboard racing title that was actually pretty damn good. And while it wasn't great, I had a lot of fun with this game and time racing and doing tricks. Low to the ground tricks had me amazed. I kind of hated the music on the game. I mean, it really was bad. But at the same time, it was a 90s game and early 2000s game. So when you... And number 5 on this list has to be one of my favorite games on the Dreamcast. It's one of my top dogs. Ready to Rumble Boxing. Ooh, the memories of this game. Ooh, it was fun times. Just playing this. Ready to Rumble Boxing kind of sucks now, and definitely was no Punch Out. But back in 1999, it was still a pretty solid IP at the time, and it made a good launch title. The boxing was ridiculous, insanely fun, especially with my man with the afro, as you can see. But not as outlandish as the one might expect, being Midway sports title to be. But it was fun while it lasted, and made good diversions when for your eyes when you try to take away from playing Soulcalibur for like countless hours. This was a good alternative to play, something different. And it's one of the times I wish could get like a reboot or something, but I doubt I. Alright, number 4 on this list is a game that is forgotten now, but they still make other franchises. And believe it or not, but there was a time when Madden wasn't the only football franchise in town. That's right. They actually had players from the NFL in it. NFL 2K. You actually had another football franchise back in the 90s and 2000s. NFL 2K will be the first of an era of football game that rival and even sometimes surpass Madden piece of crap. And that ain't no joke. The visuals were beautiful and the play differently enough from Madden that you wouldn't even come close to even compare this game with that piece of crap. It was like Sega versus Nintendo, Street Fighter versus Mortal Kombat. Which is better? But the rivalry all around just made it competition from both sides to air out better content, to strive to be better. And we have lack of that now since EA took the cop-out way to buy the rights, so they won't have to worry about competition. And now we don't see this beloved franchise anymore. Well, football-wise. Well, number 3 has to go to the little blue hedgehog himself, Sonic Adventure, published by, of course, Sega. Back when the Sega Saturn was released, a lot of people said Sega Saturn failed because of no good Sonic games. And while I wouldn't really completely agree with that statement, there is some good merit behind it. Would Nintendo ever release a console without having any Mario game? No, they wouldn't do that. That's their mascot. That's wrong. And Sega should have known better than to drop the little blue hedgehog from any of the consoles when he's helped start and made it what it is. That was a dumb marketing move. Well, Sega realized that, and they came to the surface and brought him back with the release of Sonic the Adventure as a day one game for the Sega Dreamcast. And it was an amazing game, truly 3D environments all around. It gave you so much variety. It gave you even playing time to play with the other cast of the franchise, like Knuckles, Amy, Tails, and oh my god, crappy Big Cat. Nobody you want to play. Oh my god, he was horrible. No, what I said, there was a lot of thought into this game, and it really brought it back. And no wonder why, this is just to this day one of the best games of Sonic. I mean, even when they came out with the Sonic, I think collection, like 2011 or 2012, I forgot what year, but Sonic Adventures still holds the biggest throne of Sonic games being released. I mean, come on, they had to re-release it on the Xbox Live and PSN. I mean, it was one of the best crowning achievements of Sonic. So you didn't have this game, but didn't play it neither on the old consoles or the Dreamcast. I don't know where you was hiding. Alright, number 2 on the best launch games for the Sega Dreamcast has to go to no other than Power Stone. It was a Capcom fighting game, and one of the first of many great fighting games from Capcom. On the Dreamcast, they gave us Street Fighter 3, Marvel vs. Capcom 2 later on, but Power Stone became the fan favorite almost instantly, and it was truly showed the limitless potential of the system at the time. It was amazing and fun. And if you was like me, you love Wu-Tang. Shaolin style, but fun. Players will run around the screen, collect stones while picking up items around the arena to use against each other. It was silly, it was outrageous, and it was one hell of a party game, like Smash Brothers. Unfortunately, Capcom hasn't showed the series any love since then. I mean, seriously. Which came out, kind of sad. They came out with a sequel a year later, but come on, Capcom. Don't you know how much people love Power Stone? Oh my god. Give me my boy Tang. I want to do a not Kamehameha, but a spirit bomb on my friends to blow them up again. Oh, the memories. Now, the number 1 game that was my favorite on the launch of the Sega Dreamcast was none other than Namco's edition of Soulcalibur. The cream de la cream of fighting games at that time. The holy grail of the launch titles back in 1999. It was unheard of that a console game was actually better than its arcade predecessor. But Soulcalibur was that title. That's right. Soulcalibur was the cream of the crop. Everything about it was outstanding. From its graphics, oh my god, the graphics was insane back then. I mean, you look at it now, you're like, ugh, but back then, that was amazing. To its 8-way run system, to the addictive mission mode, the Dreamcast version was everything a launch title should be, and more graphical powerhouse that really showed the new hardware potential. And all around fun ass fighting game. Honestly, if not for the Super Mario 64 on the Nintendo 64, man, Soulcalibur would have been the greatest launch title ever. Seriously. And that's no exaggeration. I'm not exaggerating. The other launch titles are good and some are great, but few deserve the right to even come close to Soulcalibur greatness. This is the game that had me playing for hours and on hours as a kid. We're playing my Sega Dreamcast. I went to 2 controllers playing this game. That was a lot of fun back in them days. But that's the list. I hope y'all enjoyed it. And, you know, if you probably had another lunch game for your Sega Dreamcast at the time, you know, leave a comment. But hey, enjoy some more. Please subscribe. And guess what? Keep it gaming, everyone. Peace.